Hi, this is AJ. Time for the next lesson. Now, this is one of my favorite topics by one of my favorite people. So I want you to be extra happy, extra strong body and physiology for this one. So stand up straight, get those shoulders back, chest up, breathe deep. Get that air going in there. Energize your body. Big, super big smile. Huge smile. Make everyone think you're super crazy. Come on. Now move your body. Come on, get it moving now. If you're standing, you just kind of wiggle around. Move those arms, move those legs. If you can, start walking. Get the blood going. Get that energy going. Let's go. Are you ready? This lesson is called The Power of Reading. And it comes from an article by Dr. Stephen Krashen. He's one of my favorite people in the world. Dr. Stephen Krashen is probably the #1 expert on language learning and language teaching in the world. He's just an incredible professor, an incredible researcher, an incredible intellectual. He has done an incredible amount of research on the topic of learning languages. And today we're going to talk about just one part of his research. Really, Effortless English is based a lot on Dr. Stephen Krashen's research, all of the methods we use. But we're going to talk about just one particular method, one particular idea, very strong idea, that comes from Dr. Stephen Krashen and his research. And that is the power of reading. Specifically, it's the power of pleasure reading. It's the power of easy reading. We'll talk about that more in a minute. But first, let me read a little bit from this article. Now, this article, as you might guess, is about the power of reading. And Dr. Krashen did a lot of research about reading, specifically about how do people, native speakers, and people learning foreign languages, how do they learn vocabulary? How do they get good grammar? How do they get excellent writing skills? And one of the most important methods is reading. Reading for pleasure. Now, when we talk about reading, there are kind of two different ways to learn reading, even for small children learning a native language. Now, one method, the old method, is that you learn reading skills. So you have to study and analyze vocabulary, for example. Spelling in English is very difficult and tough, so we have to study that a lot in school. Well, we don't have to, but often with old methods and old teachers, we do. We study spelling. We study vocabulary. And we learn all these skills. We use all these textbooks to learn reading. And of course, people learning a new language, a foreign language, well, guess what? You do the same things, right? You learn textbooks. You're reading all these textbooks, and you're trying to learn all these, quote, reading skills, unquote. Now, the other way, the other method, and this is the method, in fact, that works much, much better, according to Dr. Krashen's research, according to a lot of other research, is just reading for fun. Imagine that! And what that means is reading a lot of easy books. Now, for children, that might be comic books. It might be just children's novels. And it's just reading. In other words, we learn to read by reading. We learn vocabulary from reading. We learn a lot of our grammar from reading. We learn our writing skills from reading. Not by analyzing and studying grammar. Not by trying to memorize vocabulary. If you read something very easy, you know most of the words, and then you find a new word, you don't need to memorize it. You will start to understand that word just because you understand the general meaning of the story. You understand the whole paragraph. You understand the sentence. So that one word, you can guess the meaning. And then guess what happens? You see that new word again, somewhere else in the book. And then you start, it's in a different situation, a little bit different paragraph, a little bit different sentence, and now you understand it a little more. Then you see it again in another paragraph somewhere else in the book. And over time, you will naturally learn that word. You'll never try to memorize it. You will never study it, but you will learn it. You will know it forever. That's the best way to learn vocabulary. There's a lot of research about this. They compare people who try to memorize vocabulary with books, textbooks, that is, and then other people who learn just by reading easy books. They're reading novels all the time. They're reading. Which group of people learns more vocabulary faster? The readers. The people who are just reading for fun, they're just reading a lot of fun, easy novels and books. Those people have much bigger vocabularies than people who are actually trying to study vocabulary. It's the same for grammar. People who are studying grammar, study grammar rules, study grammar textbooks. And then other people who just reading lots of novels. They're reading all the time. Comic books, novels, articles, stories. The readers have better grammar than the people who are studying grammar from textbooks. It's a huge difference. And the more you read over time, the bigger the difference, the better your grammar gets compared to people who are using textbooks. So this is a huge topic. It is so important. So let me read a little bit from Dr. Krashen and we'll talk a little more. Okay, this is from Dr. Krashen. When second language learners read for pleasure, they develop the competence they need to move from the beginning, ordinary conversational level to a level where they can use the second language for more demanding purposes, such as the serious study of literature, business, and so on. When they read for pleasure, they can continue to improve in their second language without classes, without teachers, without study, and even without people to converse with. When we read, we really have no choice. We must develop literacy. We rarely find well-read people who have serious problems with grammar, spelling, and so on. They write acceptably well because they can't help it. They have subconsciously acquired good writing style as well as the conventions of writing. Our problem in language education, as Frank Smith has pointed out, is that we have confused cause and effect. We have assumed that we first learn language skills and then apply these skills to reading and writing. But that is not the way the human brain works. Rather, reading for meaning, reading about things that matter to us, is the cause of language development. So very interesting. What does that mean? So what it means is that you don't first learn skills. You learn writing skills, you learn spelling skills, you learn how to do a sentence, you learn how to make a paragraph, and then later you can read and write well. That's exactly the opposite of what actually happens. What actually happens is you read and you read and you read. You read sentences, you read paragraphs, you read stories, you read books, you read novels. And after reading so much, you subconsciously, you intuitively acquire, get, learn great reading skills, great writing skills, great vocabulary, great grammar. It comes from reading a lot for pleasure. The reading comes first. And in fact, I would add listening to that. And Dr. Krashen adds that as well. This article is about reading, but in fact, listening is the same thing. So when you're reading and listening a lot, that's the first step. And you need to do so much of it. You've got to read and listen for pleasure, for fun, a lot. Now, the good news is you have to do it a lot, but it's fun. It's easy. You're listening to stuff you like, so it's okay. You're reading stuff you enjoy. You're not thinking about grammar rules. You're not thinking about vocabulary. You're just reading and listening and enjoying yourself. You do that first. The grammar skills then come later. They come from the listening and the reading. The writing skills come from reading a lot. Your vocabulary comes from reading a lot and listening too. Your pronunciation comes from listening a lot. It's input that is the most important. And specific kind of input has got to be meaningful, real, enjoyable, pleasurable. So that's the power of reading. Now, I'm not going to talk about all the specific research studies in this book, but if you like, get his book. The book is called The Power of Reading. That's the title, The Power of Reading. It's by Dr. Stephen Krashen. Now, Stephen is spelled Stephen, and Krashen is spelled Krashen. So Dr. Stephen Krashen, and the book title, The Power of Reading. You can get it on Amazon.com. So if you want to see all the huge number of research studies at different universities around the world about this topic of reading and learning better grammar skills, better vocabulary, better speaking, better pronunciation. If you want to see the proof, the evidence, then, get his book. You can look at all the different studies. There's so many of them. But, if you trust me, you can take my word for it. You can trust that I am trying to help you as best I can, that I really care about you. You can trust that this is, in fact, how it works. That if you want to write well, if you want to have a great English vocabulary, if you want to have great English grammar, you need to read and read and read. And what you need to read are novels. Novels are the key. Easy novels. So here's my rule. What does easy mean for you? My rule is you should not need a dictionary to read the book. So if you let's say you grab a book by Stephen King, kind of a famous writer in the United States. You get a Stephen King book, and in English, of course, and you start reading it. But, there's so many words you don't know, and you need a dictionary. You get your dictionary, and you're looking up all these words. Well, it's too difficult for you. If you need a dictionary to understand it, it's too difficult. Okay, so, put it aside and wait. You can read it later when your reading skills are higher. But for now, find an easier book. I recommend children's novels. I think they are a fantastic way to learn. You can get the Goosebump books, for example. There's a whole series. They're for kids. They're called Goosebumps. And there's, I don't know how many. There's probably 30 or 50 of them. Okay? They're short, and they're pretty easy. You can probably read them without a dictionary. What you should do is read all of them. Read all 30 of them. Read them. Just enjoy them. Don't use a dictionary. If you see a word you don't know, just guess the meaning and keep reading. If you're wrong, it doesn't matter. You'll see that word again and again and again. Eventually, you will understand that word. You won't need a dictionary. Just enjoy the story. Another set of books I like are the Hardy Boys books. These are so old. I read them when I was a kid. And there's another series of books called Nancy Drew. So the Hardy Boys books and the Nancy Drew books, another set of kids books, kids novels. They're fairly long, but not too long, that are really great if you want to do a lot of pleasure reading that does not require a dictionary. So again, Nancy Drew books and the Hardy Boys books. And again, there are so many of them, 20, 30 or more in each series. You can read the whole series if you want to. And of course, you can just go to any bookstore that has English books, look in the children's section or the young adult section. Another series of books I like are by Ronald Dahl. Not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, but I think Dahl is D-A-H-L, if I'm right. Anyway, he wrote books such as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach. He's got a lot of books, so you could look for some of those. And of course, there are movies that go with those books. So you could watch the movies too and listen to them. You can also get audio books. This is something I think is really great. If you can find an audio book and a regular book, you can read it and then you can listen to it at the same time. And again, using children's novels. So read a lot of children's novels. And after you finish all the Hardy Boys books, and after you finish all the Goosebumps books, then find a book maybe by Stephen King. Or maybe if that's still too difficult, then find something for young adults. And then read a lot of those books. Eventually, probably within 1 year's time, if you're reading all the time, if you're reading every day, within 1 year, you'll be reading adult novels. You'll be reading the same books that I read for pleasure, for fun, that native speakers read. But don't start there. Go back and just start with children's novels and read and read and read. Your grammar will improve automatically and effortlessly. Your vocabulary will explode. It will increase so much, so fast. You won't believe it. It's amazing. So please, follow this. Reading is so powerful, but it has to be reading for fun, reading for pleasure. All right, I hope you enjoyed this topic. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, this is AJ again. Big smile. Deep breath. Move that body. Let's start the vocabulary lesson for the power of reading. Okay, one of the words we had in there was competence. Now, Dr. Krashen said people develop competence when they read. They develop the competence they need to move from the beginning level to a level where they can use the language for more difficult purposes. Competence. Competence means skill or ability. So when you read, you develop more advanced skill in English. You develop more advanced competence in English. So competence means skill or ability. And then we have the word demanding, right? He says you develop the competence for more demanding purposes. More demanding purposes, more demanding actions, more demanding challenges. Demanding just means difficult. Difficult. So, in other words, you get better and better. You can do more difficult things with the language. So in the beginning, maybe you have very simple, low-level English, or maybe intermediate-level English. Probably most of you are intermediate level. If you read my website and bought these lessons, you are definitely intermediate level. So if you're intermediate level, but you want to use English for more demanding purposes, more difficult purposes, maybe now you can talk a little bit, but you can't go to a high-level business meeting and use English very well. That's a demanding purpose. It's a more difficult situation. It's a more demanding situation. So again, demanding has this idea of difficult, something that's difficult. All right, then we also had the word literacy. Literacy, that people develop literacy by reading. Surprise, surprise. That seems pretty logical. Literacy means the ability to read well. So again, literacy is just the skill, the competence, the ability to read well. It has this idea of proficiency or ability. It means you're good at something. Now, usually it means good at reading. We do sometimes use it in a more general way, where you could say, I have good computer literacy, for example. Now, we're not talking about reading. We're just saying computer ability, basic competence with a computer. We would say computer literacy. It means I understand computers. I can use computers. I'm not an expert, but, I'm good enough. But more specifically, and in this article especially, literacy just means the ability to read well. Okay, we had another little short phrase, well-read. And in the sentence said, we rarely find well-read people who have serious problems with grammar. Okay, so well-read means, it just means that you have read a lot of books. A well-read person is someone who has read a lot. It means you have read a lot, you know a lot about books. Well, not about books. It means you actually have read books. You've read a lot of books. So that's what well-read means. So that sentence, we rarely find well-read people who have serious problems with grammar. It means people who read a lot almost never have grammar problems. And by reading a lot, we mean reading novels, reading books. Okay, we're not talking about textbooks. Reading textbooks won't help you. You have to read novels. Lots and lots of novels. So that's the key. But if you're well-read, if you've read a lot of novels, and, magazines and comic books are fine too, then you will rarely, almost never, have problems with grammar and spelling. The more you read, the better your grammar, the better your spelling. Okay, next is subconsciously. Subconsciously. Right? The reason you won't have problems is that you have subconsciously learned good grammar. You have subconsciously learned good spelling. You have subconsciously learned good writing. So, of course, subconsciously means intuitively. Another synonym is latently or intuitively. It means you weren't really trying to do it. It just happened. It's kind of happening at the bottom of your brain or the back of your brain. You don't realize it's happening, but it's happening. If you learn subconsciously, you learn, but you don't know you're learning. And it's a great way to learn because it's so easy. And that's what Effortless English is about. That's why we call it Effortless English. Without effort. Easy. So we're talking about some subconscious learning. The idea is that you're learning, but you're not trying hard. And in fact, in many cases, I would say in most cases, not just English, that's the best way to learn. It's actually the fastest and most effective way to learn. All right, next we had the word conventions. Dr. Krashen said people who read a lot learn good writing conventions. They learn the conventions of writing. Conventions, in this situation, means rules or habits. The rules of writing. The normal habits of writing. The normal rules of writing. The conventions of writing. It's the rules that most of us follow for writing. So the conventions of writing, again, the rules of writing. When you read a lot of novels especially, and I mean a lot. I mean, every day you're reading. Why are you doing it every day? Because you enjoy it. You're reading really cool, funny stories or interesting information. You're not forcing yourself. It's easy because you love it. It's something you like. So anyway, when you're reading a lot like that, you learn the conventions of writing. You learn the rules of good writing. If you want to write well, read books with good writing. Makes sense, right? Because then you're constantly getting good writing, right? You're reading, you're learning. How do you make a good sentence? How do you make a good paragraph? How do you tell a good story? The more you read, you just learn that subconsciously, intuitively. You don't need to learn a bunch of horrible writing books that teach you all these rules about how to make a sentence and how to get the subject and the verb to agree and all that bullshit. Forget that. Read, and you will acquire, you will learn the conventions of writing. You will learn better and better writing just by reading a lot of books. So that's conventions. Conventions means rules. And finally, we have the word assume. Or in the past, we said assumed. And the sentence says, we have assumed that first we learn language skills, and then we apply them, then we use them for reading and writing. But that's wrong. Actually, we read, and then we use the skills. We get the skills from reading, from listening. So assume means to believe. To assume means to believe or to guess. It's a belief, but there's no evidence. There's not a strong reason to believe it. It's a belief with no evidence. So to assume means to believe. It sometimes has an idea of guessing, but belief is really the best thing. To believe, to assume. All right, that's it. That's all of the vocabulary for the power of reading. Next, let's do the mini story. Big smile. See you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, are you ready? I hope so. Big smile. Deep breath. Move that body. Feeling good. You're a fantastic English learner. Are you ready? Let's do some English here. Mini story for the power of reading. There was a monkey. The monkey's name was Filbert. What was there? There was a monkey. And what was his name? Filbert. His name was Filbert. What was Filbert? Filbert was a monkey, of course. What did Filbert like to do? Oh, you don't know? Well, Filbert liked to shoot mosquitoes with a gun. Interesting, yes. Filbert liked to shoot mosquitoes, bzzz. He liked to shoot mosquitoes with his gun. What did Filbert like to do? He liked to shoot mosquitoes with his gun. What did he like to shoot? Mosquitoes. Filbert liked to shoot mosquitoes. With what? With his gun. Luckily, he had total competence with his gun. Was he very skilled with his gun? Oh yes, he was very skilled. He was very good with the gun. He had total competence with his gun. Who had total competence with his gun? Filbert the monkey. Filbert the monkey had total competence, total skill with his gun. He had total competence with what kind of gun? With a small handgun? No, he didn't have total competence with a handgun. He had competence with a rifle. A rifle's a big, long gun. Who had competence with a rifle? Well, Filbert the monkey. Filbert the monkey had total competence, total skill, great high skill with his rifle. Because, in fact, shooting mosquitoes is very demanding. Is it easy to shoot mosquitoes? No, it's not. It's not easy to shoot mosquitoes. It's very demanding. It's very tough. It's very difficult to shoot mosquitoes. Is it easy to shoot mosquitoes, or is it difficult to shoot mosquitoes? It's difficult. It's very demanding. It's very tough. It's very difficult. It's demanding to shoot mosquitoes. It makes you tired. Oh, whew, it's tough. It's not easy. But Filbert the monkey practiced shooting mosquitoes every day. He practiced in the morning. He practiced in the afternoon. He practiced in the evening. And he practiced at night. It was very demanding. It was very tough. But he did it every day. He practiced with his rifle, shooting mosquitoes every single day, every morning, every afternoon, every evening, every night. Filbert practiced shooting mosquitoes. It was demanding. It was tough. Was Filbert a stupid monkey? No. Filbert was a very intelligent monkey, actually. In fact, he was very well read. He would read books and shoot mosquitoes at the same time. So he's reading a book and shooting. What kind of monkey was Filbert? He was a well-read monkey. Oh. So did he read a lot of books? Yes, he read a lot of books. He was a well-read monkey. So he was a well-read chicken, right? Not a chicken. He wasn't a chicken, he was a monkey. He was a well-read monkey. He was a monkey that read a lot of books. Who was a well-read monkey? Filbert. Filbert was a well-read monkey. He was a well-read monkey, and he had total competence with a rifle. In fact, he could shoot and read at the same time. What did he shoot? He shot mosquitoes. He shot mosquitoes every day. What did he read? Well, he read philosophy books. Filbert read books about philosophy. He read books about religion and philosophy. He read Plato and Aristotle. He read books about Buddhism. He read books by the Dalai Lama of Tibet. In fact, the Dalai Lama was his favorite writer. What did he read? He read philosophy books, especially books by the Dalai Lama. While he read books by the Dalai Lama, what did he do? He shot mosquitoes, right? While reading books by the Dalai Lama, he also shot mosquitoes. Reading, reading, reading. Reading, reading, reading. Reading, reading, reading. So at the same time, he read books by the Dalai Lama and he shot mosquitoes. He was a well-read monkey with competence in the rifle. Now, because he read so many books by the Dalai Lama, he subconsciously learned the Dalai Lama's philosophy. Did he consciously learn the Dalai Lama's philosophy? No, not consciously. He didn't try to learn it. He didn't try to memorize it. Not a lot of effort. He subconsciously learned the Dalai Lama's philosophy. Did he learn it effortlessly? Yes, he did. He learned it effortlessly. Did he learn it intuitively, naturally? Yes, he learned it subconsciously. He learned the Dalai Lama's philosophy subconsciously, naturally and intuitively. What did he learn subconsciously? The Dalai Lama's philosophy. He learned the Dalai Lama's philosophy subconsciously. Who learned the Dalai Lama's philosophy subconsciously? Filbert the monkey. Filbert the mosquito-shooting monkey subconsciously learned the Dalai Lama's philosophy. Now, of course, the Dalai Lama's philosophy is very peaceful. The Dalai Lama does not like killing. He's a peaceful man. Was Filbert a peaceful monkey? No, every day he was shooting mosquitoes. So there was a problem. He was shooting mosquitoes and killing them every day, but he subconsciously learned the Dalai Lama's philosophy. Oh no, well no. And so, one day, Filbert decided to never kill again. He said, "I will never kill another mosquito." Filbert became a peaceful monkey. He threw his gun into the river. What did he do? He threw his gun into the river. What kind of monkey did Filbert become? He became a very peaceful monkey. Did he become a peaceful monkey or a violent monkey? He became a peaceful monkey. Why did he become a peaceful monkey? Well, because he subconsciously learned from the Dalai Lama. He subconsciously learned the philosophy of the Dalai Lama. which was peace and kindness. So Filbert never killed again. He became a peaceful, loving, wonderful monkey. The end. All right, good. Well, I hope you're feeling peaceful and loving right now, and I hope you're feeling happy, and I hope you're smiling. And if you're not, do it now. Deep breath, big smile, shoulders back, chest up, feel great. You are learning English. It's a great day. You're feeling wonderful. See you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, welcome to the POV, that's point of view. Lesson 4, the power of reading. Now again, I'm going to tell the same story about Filbert the monkey. We're going to have 2 points of view. One is going to start with since 2002, and the other one will be in the future. So let's start with the first one. Are you ready? You feel good? You're smiling. Standing tall. Shoulders back. Deep breath. Let's do it. Since 2002, since the year 2002, Filbert has enjoyed shooting mosquitoes with his gun. He has liked to shoot mosquitoes with his gun since 2002. In 2001, did Filbert enjoy shooting mosquitoes? No, he didn't. Not in 2001. In 2001 and before, he never shot mosquitoes. But since 2002, he has liked to shoot mosquitoes with his gun. He has loved it, in fact. Since 2002, Filbert the monkey has loved to shoot mosquitoes with his gun. From 2002 right up until almost now. During that whole time. So since 2002, he has enjoyed shooting mosquitoes. And since 2002, he has practiced every day. In fact, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and at night. He has practiced shooting mosquitoes every day since 2002. Since 2003, he has had total competence with his rifle, with his big long gun. Since when? Since 2003, he has had total competence. He has had total competence with his rifle. Since 2003, he has had what? Since 2003, he has had total competence with his rifle. Now, of course, shooting mosquitoes is a very demanding, tough thing to do. It's very difficult. So, he has practiced constantly shooting mosquitoes with his rifle. Now, Filbert the monkey has also been a very well-read monkey for many years. For many years, he has read philosophy books. Every day, reading about philosophy and shooting his gun at the same time. Read, read. He has been a very well-read monkey. Probably since 2001. Since 2001, he has been a very well-read monkey. Something happened recently. He started to read books by the Dalai Lama. He read books by the Dalai Lama constantly. And then something else happened. He subconsciously learned the philosophy of the Dalai Lama. And he changed. Filbert the monkey changed. Why did he change? Because he read a lot of books by the Dalai Lama of Tibet. How did he change? Well, he became very peaceful. Because he read a lot of books by the Dalai Lama of Tibet, he became very peaceful. And he decided to never kill again. He threw his gun into the river, and he said, "I will never kill again." Filbert the monkey became a very peaceful, loving monkey. The end. Okay, now, you probably noticed again there was a change. It happens in most of these stories that begin with since 2002 or since something. And the change happened when I said he started to read books by the Dalai Lama. Right? That happened. It was a sudden thing. It was at one point in time he started. You can't continually start something, right? You start it, it happens, and then it's done. You finish starting. Now you're doing it. So in one point of time, he started reading books by the Dalai Lama. He changed. He became a peaceful monkey. He decided to never kill again. He threw his gun in the river. He became a peaceful monkey. All right, you don't need to think about it any more than that. Just notice the change. Notice when it happens. That's all. Keep listening. Okay, next, let's do our future point of view. So the future point of view, we kind of imagine that I'm talking about something that will happen in the future. Maybe I'm imagining this story, and I say, oh, this is a future story. This is what will happen in the future. Maybe I'm predicting the future. Doesn't matter, but mainly the point of view is the future. In the future. In the future! There will be a monkey. He'll like to shoot mosquitoes. What'll his name be? His name will be Filbert. His name will be Filbert. Filbert the monkey will love to shoot mosquitoes with his gun, with his rifle. In fact, he'll have total competence with that rifle. He'll be excellent with that rifle. He'll have total, complete competence with the rifle. Now, of course, shooting mosquitoes is very demanding. It's very tough. It's very difficult. So, he'll practice every day. He's gonna practice in the morning. He's gonna practice in the afternoon. He's gonna practice in the evening. He's gonna practice at night. He's gonna practice constantly because it's so demanding to shoot mosquitoes. Now, of course, he's not only going to shoot mosquitoes, he's gonna be a well-read monkey also. He'll be a very well-read monkey. He'll read a lot of philosophy books. Especially books by the Dalai Lama of Tibet. He's gonna read a lot of books by the Dalai Lama. And because of this, he's gonna subconsciously learn the philosophy of the Dalai Lama of Tibet. He'll learn about the peaceful philosophy of the Dalai Lama. He'll learn about compassion and not killing. And so one day, he'll decide to never kill again. He's gonna throw his gun in the river and he's gonna say, "I will never kill again. I am now a peaceful monkey." And of course, he will be. He will become a very peaceful, loving, kind-hearted monkey. The end. That's the end of our future point of view story. Once again, so easy, right? Just listen. Just listen for my pronunciation. Listen how I make little changes. When I change the point of view, I make small changes to the vocabulary. I say oh, I say gonna. And that's all. You don't need to think about a bunch of grammar rules. Throw away your damn grammar book. Get rid of that textbook. Just listen to these stories again and again. Remember, deep learning, you're going to listen to this same story every day for 7 days, maybe over the course of 2 weeks. Maybe more, I don't know. But you're going to learn it deeply. You're going to get this repetition again. And then in the next lesson, again. And the next lesson, again. And soon, you will learn this grammar subconsciously. That's what we're doing. That's the purpose of these stories, to learn this grammar subconsciously. So all you need to do is listen and enjoy the stories. Okay, I will see you next time. That's the end of the POV lesson 4, The Power of Reading. And by the way, one last homework assignment. Go find some easy novels, easy children's novels. Goosebumps, Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I don't care. Go buy some. Get on Amazon and find some and start reading. Read every day for fun. Read something easy. Read something fun. Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye.